Happy Sunday, everyone! Welcome to the Chill Art Sunday once more. Thank you all so much for joining. Let's get right into it. And I am going to open. What was the picture called again? A birdie told me. So this one. So the good news with this one is that I am now in the process of coloring. Oh, I'm going to start the process of coloring Silvertrot, which is the last character. That's not Silvertrot, that's the bird. Which is the last character that needs coloring. This two characters picture. There it is, coloring Alpha 2. Never mind, I have finished coloring Silver. I thought I was still gonna color him. Never mind. Speaking of Silver, I forgot. We have to have Silvertrot walking around the street. Oh my god. Happy Sunday, Torpedo. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. Let's just wait for this to finish loading. Because of course we gotta have Silvertrot trotting around the screen. And always getting in the way of everything that I am doing. So let's see here. Unicorns, yep. Stallions, yep. Stallion, there we go. Give me ponies. Seeing you're a little late. Yeah, well, slightly, kind of. Truth is, I am not really in the mood for streaming today, and I woke up early, so it's not because I was because I woke up late like usually. It's just simply because I was like, okay, let's do this. You know, that kind of stuff. Fenris, welcome to the stream. Hello there. Thank you so much for joining. Happy Sunday. I do not roleplay, Fenris. I'm sorry. I used to many moons ago, but I lost interest in that. Anyway, let's see here. So Silvertrot has already been colored. The fudge is happening with the sizing of these here. These keep resetting for some reason. I hate that. There we go, that's much better. You make a pool, great, good pool. What? I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, so Silvertrot is done. I have already merged his layers, it seems. Okay, I'm gonna ask you to not be posting so many random links like that, Fenris. What even are those? There is way too many links. I will remove them. I can I do that? I don't know. I'm gonna ask you to not be posting so many random links like that, please. Yeah, I have no idea what those links are. How would I do that again? Never did this. One moment. Wait, I think this is this. What does this button do? Ah, there we go. That's what this button does. So yeah, I'm going to ask you, Fenris, please do not be posting so many random links like that. This being link, the last one looks very interesting. Hey, if you say so. I'm not gonna click any of them. Not without knowing what they are. Okay, where was I? Right, I was checking here what I have done so far and what needs to be done next. So I have colored Silver Trout last Sunday. Apparently I have already merged all of his layers already. It looks so strange without a tail and mane. That's a bald horse. Okay, so I think the next thing I gotta do is just shading. I was thinking, however, if I should really indeed use a recycled background, or if I should actually try and do something new just for this picture in particular. The thing is, I am a bit on the lazy side. Speaking of lazy, Silver is sleeping over there. Also, why isn't he showing over Photoshop like he should? Like, if I click on the Photoshop window again, he goes kapoof. That's not supposed to happen. Fix this. Go options. Try to avoid all the windows. Don't leave windows. Fire. Voice on top. Let's reset these. They're not saved to default profile. What? The fudge you're talking about? Oh, that worked. Anyway. Right. So I thought about drawing a new background, but because I don't really want to be spending too much time making a new background, I thought about perhaps just simply putting one together using pre-existing vectors. First of all, let me see what I have in my assets and textures folder. Let's see if we can do something nice with what we have here. I definitely would like a landscape. There's this nice tree. Isn't this the same tree that I have here? No, it's not. This tree would probably be nice. We have a few crates. Lots more trees. A sun. A lamppost. Rocks. A house. What if I take this house? Hold on. Let's throw stuff into Photoshop. Let's do a little bit of experimenting. Let's copy this house. And let's hide this. Let's make a new group and call it temp. Because it's only temporary. Size this house. By cubic smoother, yep. Now, oh well, this house needs to be much larger than this. Silver Trout is not a giant. Flip horizontal? Nah. This? Silver is still way too big in comparison to the house. Let's use the door as a reference. That looks better. Okay, so this size works. But now we only have house for the background. Which could be done The steps here, Silver does kind of look like he's actually sitting on the steps, but could have the house like here. What's on the other side? A bush. Let's flip this horizontally. This could work. Let's experiment with something else as well. What else have we got? We have trees. I like this big tree here. Let's see what this is going to look like if I put it in here. That is a very big tree. Is it better than the last one? I know it's a little late for the question. I suppose I can say my wig has been a bit better than the previous one. Thank you for asking. I'm just feeling super tired. Again, I have been feeling super tired in general for a while now. Maybe I'm just getting old. Who knows? Well, we can have this tree somewhere. Like here, for example. A little farther away from Silver and the bird. What if I make a new layer? And on this layer, I draw a ground of sorts, at least a base for a ground. Let's pick a nice shade of green. That's not green. I clicked on the wrong thing by accident. Okay, let's go with this here. It's not quite the ideal shade, but it will do for now. This kind of looks nice already. Neat. What else have we got? A couple more houses around here would work nicely, don't you think? I think it would. After all, since we have a house here, we can pretty much assume that this scene, assuming I actually go with this, is actually in a town. That's not bad, if I'm honest. But that's not what I want. However, I don't want to be using the same house all over the place. Let's go on DeviantArt and find some more house vectors. MLP house. None of this is what I'm looking for. Vector. Is this just a picture or actual vectors that can be used? This here, by the way, is the same house that I just applied to Photoshop there. Scenery, this is just a scenery. So no. But I would like it. I would like these other house vectors. And I really dislike DeviantArt Eclipse. Even browsing art has been made awful. Let's go to Google instead. MLP house vectors. Resources building on MLP Vector Club. Yep. Let's go with stuff from here, perhaps. Oh, there seems to be quite a bunch here. This is the one that I am currently using. This is made by Medina 13. And wait, what? That's the same house. I know that I am using this specific one because this one is in my favorites. This one is the same. Well, to be fair, they probably just vectorized from the actual episode, like this one here, the title. This implies, I mean, this pretty much states that it is from the episode, season 2, episode 6 more specifically. Let's open this one, this one. I should probably have this one in my assets folder as well. Sugar Cube Corner? Sure, why not? The Sugar Cube Corner. What the heck? Is this free to use? Doesn't specify, so I'm gonna assume yes. And if I do use this, of course I'm gonna give credit to the artist who made this vector. Also, I see a nice looking cinder over here apparently. It's already my favorites. Okay, let's add this to the assets folder. It's an SVG file, that's fine. Hopefully. Also, is the title of the file here including the name of the artist? Free luck. Okay. Let's add this house as well. And click on this pony. Because, yes. And now let's add Twilight's library. Although I'm not going to use this one. Did I just see Ecto 1? Ecto B. Handmade thing here. And also Sugar Cube Corner. I almost said Sugar Cane Corner. That's from Legends of Equestria. Okay. Let's bring in... it's SVG file. It wants to open on Microsoft Edge. Open with... Can you simply bring this directly into Photoshop? Riptane, happy Sunday, thank you so much for joining, welcome to the stream. Can I open this in CorelDRAW? It is an SVG file. Where's CorelDRAW here? There. Okay, I can. Let's export this as a PNG file, so I can more easily use it. And I am, of course, going to name it the same as the original file, which I think is that one. What resolution should I use, though? Let's use a big one. Let's go for 2000. Why can't I type it? Why isn't it? What? Oh. Wait, what? I cannot erase this. Why? I have no idea why. Whatever. Confused dragon noises. Like sometimes I could type there, sometimes I couldn't, and then I could not use backspace. I had to select the numbers and type over. What was the deal there? Boy, this is taking a while to export. There we go. Should be this file then. Look at the resolution. 19,311 22 by 22,235. No wonder it took a while to export. Jesus. I mean, I do need the resource to be a high resolution, but that's ridiculous. Let's export it at a smaller resolution. My God. That is way too big. How heavy is the file anyway? 5.70 megabytes. Let's do 1000. GPU with no better there. I know, right? It's gigantic. Let me bring this into Photoshop before CorelDRAW overwrites the file. Just let's go full size here on the zoom. Here, that's 100% zoom. My God, that's absurd. Okay, CorelDRAW, are you done overwriting the file? Yeah. Let's refresh. Okay, that's a bit more manageable. It's still way too big though. 9,656 by 11,000 and over 100. What is the size of this other house here? 6,000. 6,000, 9,000. I suppose we can export this at a slightly lower resolution. Still be good. Instead of 1000, let's do 900 resolution. Okay, now the size is way more manageable. 8,690 by 10,006. Let's bring this into Photoshop. File size also has decreased significantly, from 5.70 to 2.10 megabytes. That's way better. Alrighty, what is the full size on this? Okay, it's better. For comparison, what is the full resolution of this house over here? Okay, yeah, that is good. Very well then, let's copy this house and paste it over here. Resize it. Where should I place this house? Yeah, I think over there seems to be fine. But its size does not match the size of the tree, or the size of the tree does not match the size of the house, or more specifically, they are not proportional to each other. That house right there, right now, I think is proportional enough to what's on the foreground, that being the house that I placed behind Silvertrot and Silvertrot himself, but it's not proportional in relation to the tree, or rather, the tree is not proportional in relation to that house. The tree obviously would have to be much larger than this, but then we would only basically have just the trunk be visible here. I'm going to experiment that. Because I really like this tree, I would like to use this tree specifically. Not another one. That is way too big. Size it. Your dreams thrive by competition. You'll find no one famous ever got there just by flinching at their foes. Cling against the torment claw with all your might at what you do. Don't let go. Just grow. Yeah, I like this tree, but it doesn't really fit the scene, does it? No. Let's yeet this one and use a different one. Why do I have two windows of this open? Let's see. You know, these are just apple trees, aren't they? Yeah, they are. I have these. Okay, here. These. Let's try one of these. These are smaller trees. They should be more manageable for this scene. how about this one? And there. Paste it over here. Oh yes, there we go. Now this one is way more fitting. It is way more fitting. Let's place it here. This space over here, the roots, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of work there, but that's fine, no problem. I'm just experimenting. I have no idea if I'm actually gonna use this background that I am putting together. Yeah, let's get this over for now. We switched to daylight savings. Yeah, we switched like last week, or was it the week before? I can't remember. It was recent. You seem to be far more lost in time than me. Let's close this. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about this other one here. Okay, let's export this house as a PNG file. Resolution, let's use 900 as well. Why? I am typing 900. Why is it not typing? Now it is. Go figure. Okay, let's bring this into Photoshop and see if this can be used. Follow me. Just keep your thoughts on what's to come. Follow me. I have to learn the lyrics of the song. I have a feeling I have used this house on another picture before. However, it is not present in my collection of resources here. Oh look, Silver Chart is sleeping on a barrel over there. Cute. Anyway, I am 100% sure I have used that house before. And I believe it was on this picture here. Was it? No. I'm thinking of another one. What is the one that I'm thinking of? This one. Oh no, it is not that house. It is the first one that I have placed over there on the picture. Okay, my bad. And the one that I used over here was one that I actually drew myself. Okay, fair enough. I could actually recycle that one. Never mind. Nobody's more lost in time than me. I woke up today at 8:30 and panicked because I thought it was Monday today. I can safely say that I have been there and done that. It is an awful feeling. It reminds me of this time also that I had a dream in which in the dream I woke up at, let's flip this back. I woke up at past 9 in the morning and I had to be at work at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I woke up past 9, I think it was 9:30 in my dream. And it felt so real for some reason. I remember waking up, looking at a clock and seeing that it was 9, and somehow it didn't register to me that it was a dream, because right over the clock there was a message saying, I think it said you are late or something like that. There was a message flashing there. And in the dream I was panicking, saying, "Oh my god, I'm super late for work. What am I gonna do?" And no, the message actually showed after, and it didn't say that I was late. It instead said, "This is just a dream." I just remembered. Yeah. And then I woke up. Actually, I made a picture of that many years ago. I made a small comic. It's here somewhere. Way back. When was that? I think that was in 2010, 2011. Or maybe 2009 even. I don't know. It was a very long time ago. It's a very old comic. They're not greatly drawn by my current standards. Not something that I plan on redoing or remaking anytime soon, though. My god, look at this old stuff. I can't tell if I'm already past what I'm looking for. My god. How old is that? How much farther am I gonna have to go back in time? There it is. Jesus Christ, took forever. When did I upload this thing? 2008! It's even older than I thought. Oh, this is a two-parter. Okay, three-parter, never mind. Yeah, this was a dream. In the dream, I woke up, looked at the clock, saw the time, got very panicked. Look at my watch; it was also super late. Then the clock made a noise, and I looked back, and there was a message. This is just a dream. And then I woke up and said, "Oh my goodness! Good, thank God it was just a dream." Good times. Wow, that was so old. Anyway, this house. If I place this house back here somewhere, I can get away with drawing some more background there because it's gonna basically be obstructing a lot more stuff. I once dreamed that my alarm clock was ringing to get up. Then it did everything as normal. Then my real alarm clock ringed, and it took some time for me realizing that this was a dream. Yeah, dreams can be very tricky sometimes, can't they? Oh, you know what? Instead of this house, what if I use... I was thinking of the city hall, but I did not download the city hall, did I? No, I didn't. I saw it here. Town hall, not city hall. Ah, same thing. That dragon looks cool. Hold on a second. It is cool. It's already my favorites. Of course it's cool. Oh, nice. This one is in the PNG format. Excellent. Where is it? Down here. Let's copy. I gotta close some stuff here. There's too many pictures open. There. Okay, let's resize this. It's better. Could have it there, I suppose. Let's put something else here as well. Sugar cube corner. This entire scene is completely geographically incorrect. It's not like I'm trying to recreate Ponyville here, after all. 'Cause I'm not. I'm just putting in some random buildings. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work there. Where's that other house? This one. Yeah, over there. Let me hide the city, the town hall for a moment. Perhaps if I bring this one over here, shrink it a little bit more, place it there, move this tree over here, put it over there. Not bad, but not good either. Okay, let's just put it over there. That will do. This is not bad actually, but I am not convinced of whatever the fudge I'm doing here. Let's make a sky. See a nice shade of very light blue. And now another shade of blue, but a little darker. Okay. Hold on, it's gonna be best if I do this. So I can actually see what I am doing. No. The darker blue has to be a little darker. And perhaps that light blue as well. Let's make that light blue a little dark. Just a little bit. This can be better. That's a bit better. Instead, make this over here a little darker. Oh, that is much better. Okay, let's put that here. What if I don't go all the way down? That's better. That is much better. But I am really not convinced with this background. Where? There. Yeah, I think I'm actually just going to recycle this background here and actually use it. Like I said, this here was just an experiment. It's not bad. I could definitely use this for some other picture, but for this one, I'm not convinced. Let's go with this one here, because this one is fine as it is. I'll have to remember, however, when I upload this picture, to give credit to the artists who made the vectors that I use for this background here. Because this tree here, this tree, all of the trees that you see here, also that cloud over there, these are vectors that I used from other artists. Those are free to use so long as I give credit to them, which I did when I uploaded the original picture that I used this background. But yeah, I didn't make those vectors myself. And they are in here somewhere. So I just gotta remember to give credit for using these vectors again. Drink a little bit of water. Okay. So in this case, what I have to do next is shade. I gotta throw some shade over here. Let's change the name of this file to Alpha 0. And what should I do first? I think I'm going to start with Silver Trot. Yeah, I'm going to begin with Silver. Oh, wait a moment. The light source is back there. It's up here in this general area, but back there you see the shadow of the trees, the shadows of the trees, which means I'll have to give Silver Trot and the bird a shadow as well. Oh no. It would be much easier if the light source was like here on the front of the characters or directly on top. I mean, it's no problem to make to draw a shadow for him. It's just that I'm feeling way too lazy to do that. Then again, I can actually do this instead. I can kind of cheat a little bit on the shadow, and I might end up just doing this. Silver Trot. Keep the background visible again. And here. Let's bring this into Photoshop. Copy everything. And paste it over here. Now we have 2 silvers and 2 birds. And they are gonna become completely black. I'm pretty sure by now you can already tell what I'm getting at. I should have used guidelines. Remember those times in past streams when I talked about having a guideline in Photoshop? You see, this image that I have just pasted here, it doesn't have one. So when I paste it, as you can see here, Silver is completely offset. That is, he's not in the same position as the original one, which is this one over here. This one is the original. This one that showed behind him is the copy I just pasted. I need this one to be in the exact same position as the original. Now, of course, I can simply drag this and try to position there, but one, this is gonna be a little bit of a hassle, and 2, it is going to be a bit difficult to get the exact positioning. So in order to avoid this kind of issue, I always use what I call guidelines. And they are nothing but simply some sort of marking on the corners of the image. Because what happens is, the reason why this image here, even though this is the exact same resolution and canvas size and positioning of the character as this one over here, the thing is, Photoshop, unless there is something on the corners to tell Photoshop that this image is not alone in an empty void, Photoshop will always understand this transparency here as just void, as nothing. So every time I copy something that doesn't have something out here, that is completely empty, like this one, Photoshop will copy only the image that is actually present in that layer, which if I press Ctrl T to make the selection over here, as you can see, is just Silver Trot and the bird. So when I paste this without having something else on the corners, Photoshop understands that this image has to be placed in the exact center of the canvas, and that is why this here happens. And that is why I use what I call guidelines, which are nothing but just things on the corner, on the around more specifically, to tell Photoshop, hey, there is stuff there, so you have to place this image that I am copying in this exact same position like this, you know? So now, for example, if I press Ctrl T again, you can see Photoshop now selects the entire canvas, because now it recognizes these two edges that I placed on the corners over there as being something, instead of just complete void. So now when I select everything and copy, and then paste it over here, there we go. We can see those things that I just placed there. But at the first you can't really see Silvertrot himself, the one that I just pasted here. But that's because he is in the exact position that he's supposed to be. And this kind of stuff here is what I call guidelines. They serve to guide the actual image that I want to be, that I want to position here. They serve to guide that image into the position that it needs to be. So if I drag this around, there you go, you can see there's silver. And now all I gotta do is delete those two things and make this silver that I pasted here completely black, and let's place this thing over here, flip this around. Wait, that's not quite right. Is it? Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted. Skew. Let's do skewing. Fudge. This has to be positioned correctly. Of course, after I manipulate this, it's gonna be all messed up. But that's why I will make some fixes after the fact. Let's do some more. Let's do perspective. Yeah. Or maybe not. Let's instead do distortion. Not entirely sure how to do this though. Oh. That leg is from that one. That changes things a little bit. Also the angle. The angle here is wrong. There we go, I think that's better. Let's use warp. This whole thing was positioned incorrectly. Yeah, the shadow of the tail is matching the tail as it is supposed to. That is right. Should have used a little more warping before applying those changes. Okay, this shadow is obviously unfinished, but I'm going to leave it like this for now. Let's call this layer shadow. Or rather, let's call it cast shadow. Very well. Now, let's go to layer called body top, which is this one. Oh, I just remembered something. I always have some difficulties shading Silvertrot, and that's because of the method that I use for shading. I rely extremely heavily on not these two. Well, it's two, but what I'm trying to say is these tools over here. The dodge tool and the burn tool. These are very good tools. They can provide very good results. As an example, this picture here. Now, I did use some hard shading to highlight this one a tad, but most of it was done using the dodge and the burn tool. Another one that I can show you as an example, this one. Now this one did not use any hard shading at all. I lied, it did over here. But that's besides the point. I use the dodge and the burn tools for this one picture, all pictures, and as you can see, they do provide a very good result. The problem with using those tools for shading comes when I have to shade some very light color, which is the case of Silvertrot. When I have to shade something light as Silver's colors, the dodge tool becomes almost completely ineffective for making, you know, lighter areas. I don't know, I have no idea if I'm making any sense. But anyway, this is a problem, a little bit of a problem in most cases, and you will see what I mean. Let's position this. This should be enough. Range mid-tones, yes. Exposure 100%. This is the dodge tool, very well. I always begin with the lighting. I do lighting and shading. When I say shading in general, that I have to shade a picture, I am referring to not just actually shading, but also doing the lighting. Because shading a picture involves both making a darker areas, because you know, the shadows, as well as lighter areas, which are the areas that are more exposed light. So that's lighting, and while the other one is shading. But the term shading a picture in general refers to doing both of those. Although you technically can kind of get away with doing just shading itself, but the results are not as good. But I digress. What I'm getting at is that when I shade, I always begin with the lighting. Now let's pick a brush over here. I suppose a number 100 soft round brush might be enough for starters. So the light is coming from the top, but from the background. which is why the shadows of the trees are the way they are, and therefore also silvers, which means lighting on him must be done only around the edges of the character, just like I did for, oops, that was not what I meant to do. Just like I did with the picture that I made that background originally for this one here. This is a very big resolution. There we go. I can actually do a little differently from what I just said. Silver, excuse me. You are covering yourself. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. You can see the sun over there. That's where the light of the sun is coming from. So all the light must be behind the character, basically. I am too tired to talk very properly. I cannot think. I cannot word. Okay. Let's use number 150. Let's begin. My lighting is, let's go with 100 actually. Let's begin by doing some initial lighting on his forehead over here. I always begin with the areas that are the most exposed to light. Some on his neck over here. And a little bit here on his chest and his belly. And that should do it for this layer. For starters, obviously. Now I'm going to switch to the burn tool. Let's see, range set to midtones, that is right. Exposure 100%, that is also right. Yes, number 300 for the soft round brush. And now let's make all of this dark. Oh, there's also this leg over here. I forgot about the leg. Frick. Now I'm gonna have to undo everything and do it again. Crap. Okay. Let's do it again. Could be worse. I am on the wrong layer. God damn it. Here, body top. I'm not sure if you can already tell, but this lighting that I am applying here, the effect is super subtle on silver. And that's because his colors are so light. Essentially, I am applying light to something that is already very light. That is why I always have some difficulties doing lighting and shading on light characters. You know, characters that have light colors, like silver over here. Okay, now we are going to switch to the burn tool and make everything dark. There we go, everything should be covered evenly. Now I switch back to the dodge tool, but I change the exposure to 50%. And using a large brush as well, I do the exact same thing I did with the burn tool, but this time with the dodge tool to make it lighter. Now this gives me kind of a in between the original shade of the colors and the darkened the darker shade that I created using the burn tool. And this allows me a wider range of lighting and shading. And also makes it look a little more natural too. Right. Let's go now to the burn tool. Use a smaller brush. Let's go with 100. But the exposure now is going to be set to 50%. And this now is where I do the actual shading. Let's begin with the areas that are supposed to not be as exposed to light, and therefore the darker areas, like the back of his leg over here. Maybe not so much, because there should be some light coming from this side as well. So instead of doing the entirety of the back of his leg over here, let's do the middle. I'm gonna use a smaller brush. Let's go with 65. Yeah. Let's go under his neck bandana. Under his leg over here, his chest. A little bit of his belly too. Stop. Now, his jaw, back of his jaw here, as well as some of his neck. Now let's use a larger brush. Let's go with number 80. We're gonna do this middle section of his neck. Up to his head. Silver, excuse me. Okay. As you can see, the effect is super, it looks super subtle on Silver. But that's not actually because the effect that I'm applying is indeed subtle like that. No, it's just because his colors are so light that you can't really see the effect, but it's there. Now then, his ear. Excuse me. Let's use brush number 21 and darken up this area over here. I'm thinking, what if I go back to the original line art layers and I cut out just this part of his ear and separate it from this part over here. Then I use that to, you know what, I'm just gonna do it because I cannot explain it with words. That's the wrong window. Let's go back here to coloring alpha 1. No, let's go to alpha 0. Yeah, this one. Let's copy this line art, paste it over here. I want to do shading only on the inside of his ear. And I do not want any of this shading to be applied to the outside of his ear here at all. For that, I need to somehow make a selection of sorts. How am I going to do that without creating those annoying gaps, though? Actually, let's hide that for a minute and try something. Let's have an anchor point there. Here. There. See if this is going to work as I intend. It will, just certainly not very well. Or at least not as well as I intend. Silver, excuse me. Yeah, let's have that over there. Now let's make a selection. Let's keep working on that shading and see how poorly this goes. Let's use a larger brush. 65 should do. I have already applied some shading there. So now, actually let's go with 45. I'm going to make it more dark. Actually, never mind. Let's go with 100. Nope, 100 is too big. 65 it is. And a little bit more. Bottom there. There you go. On the surface, this looks good. But I assure you that when I undo the selection, when I remove the selection, we will see darkness on the very edge of this line art here. A lot of it. And that is not gonna look natural or good at all. Here we go. Yep, there it is. Right here. See? There's no way I can fix those pixels. Not easily. Other than that, the ear looks quite fine as it is. How can I do this? Let's go back to this stage. It has to do with the actual selection itself. Let's change this here so it's not covering as many pixels, if any at all. Silver!
I'm so sorry. It's okay, it was a long time coming. Can I stay here tonight?
There's some of that happening here as well. Okay. All right, let's try that again. Add a little bit of darkness, just a little bit. Yeah, it happened exactly what I thought was going to happen. So now I avoided most of that darkness on the edge of the line art, but instead, alright, in exchange I created a gap between the line art and the actual shading itself. See, stuff like this is the reason why I like to have every single element, as many elements of a given character or object as possible, in separate layers, as many of them in separate layers as possible, just so I can avoid this. Fine, let's not use this method. Cancel that. Let's instead just wing it. Brute force this here. This. See, that shading there, it looks fine for the most part, but I have also applied shading to the border of his ear here, and this is not supposed to be shaded. That is not supposed to be shaded. Now, of course, I can use the burn tool, the dodge tool, on that border of his ear to make it lighter. The problem is, it is going to create a weird contrast of lightness and darkness. It's not going to look natural. Already this early, Torpedo. Very well then. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed the little you saw here today. And have a great week. There is a way I can make this work. I do not know yet what it is, but I will find out. One alternative would be if I went back all the way to the line art on Quota Draw and I separated his ear. No, that would just make things a little even more complicated. So forget that idea. However, what if this stage of progress here is where I have colored everything, but before I merged the line art layers with the color layers. So as you can see here, everything is separated from each other. I'm thinking, can I perhaps make a color layer for just this part of his ear, and another one for just this part of his ear. Like, put that there, there. Yeah, let's make the same selection that I did. Wait. No. No, 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 no. Cancel that. Hmm. Give me the eraser. Instead, manually erase the color. Actually, for this I can actually use the pen. It is going to be running under the line art after all.
These last few years flew by just like a blur. I'm now exactly where I should be.
Yeah.
And I know I owe it all to her. That beautiful mare who believed in me.
Isn't it great to be different? Isn't it wonderful to be exactly? Okay, now that I have this selection, I'm going to erase all of this color. Now what? Yeah, now what? This can be a bit better. This here must follow the curvature. This ear. Little more. Okay, maybe not quite like that. Nope, I don't like that. Alright, let's try this. Okay, that's better. But now what? Let's undo all of this shade that I have done so far. I run out of undos. It's fine. And stuff like this is the reason why I keep different versions of progress. Let's not save that and open Alpha 0 again. Okay. Let's merge the body top line art with the color line art, I mean the color layer. Copy all of this and bring it over here. So that happens. Now if I make this new layer here and add, let's see, this here. Let's make this into a vector mask. There we go. Now it looks the exact same as it was before, but now I have the ear separated technically into two different layers. Is this idea gonna work? I have no idea. Let's find out. The burn tool. Yes. There. See? This. This is what I wanted. If I make this right, this will work. Okay. Undo that. Save before I do anything. I'm not gonna name the layers yet. I lied, I will. Body top. Yeah, body top. And let's call this here. Here. Ear color. Alright. Let's go back from the top. Dodge tool. 100% exposure. Brush number 100. Soft round brush. Let's do the basic lighting. And a little bit of lighting over now. Maybe not as much down here. A bit more on his shoulder there. Should do it. Now let's make everything dark with 100% exposure. Okay, that should be enough. Go ahead and leave this at 50% because I'll have to come back to it in a moment and I will need a 50% exposure there. There we go. Now let's go back to burn tool. Use a smaller brush, number 65. Let's begin with his hoof like before. Here, neck, and go ahead and do his jaw. There. Yeah. That's not bad. Now let's shade the inside of his ear. Add some light here. Let's start this over. Some light over here. Just a teeny tiny bit out of there. Let's make it all dark. And no light again, by only half. Okay. Now let's shade the inside of this ear. Brush number 65. Maybe that is too dark. Let's try again. Let's increase the size of the brush and reduce the exposure to 30%. Yeah, I guess that's better. Yeah, that's not bad. See how much better this looks like now? So much better. Now let's go back to this layer over here. And give me a brush number 17. I'm still using the burn tool. Now, as you can see here, the difference between the light area of his ear and the darker, the shaded area over here is very, very visible. I want this to be a little more subtle. The only actual difference that there should really be is in the line art area. So let's try and make this a little more subtle. Let's shade a little bit. Use the size of the brush. Let's shade a little bit on this here. It's too much. That should be enough for now. See over here. As you can see, now you can't see that difference as much anymore. It's still there, it's just more subtle. Nice. Do I want to keep this though? Yeah, sure. Okay, let's see. Let's add some more shadows. Brush number 35. Yes. Let's highlight the shading over here by adding more shadow. What if I use an airbrush with this? Change the size here to 35 like the other one. Almost. Let's try this, but with a larger brush and extending a bit to his neck. Maybe not brush 100. Let's do some of that down here. Okay, I think that seems to be quite nice. Quite nice, quite alright. Very good. I'm going to save, but as Alpha 0. Because should I need to go back to before shading the inside of his ear, I will have that on Alpha 0. Now, what do I want to shade here? Let's do lighting on the edge of his ear. This layer here. Let's add lighting over here. Maybe a larger brush. That right? You know what? I don't quite think so. Not quite like that, at least. Perhaps up to here only. Yeah, I suppose that makes a little bit more sense, but it can be better. Yep, that is way better. Way, way better. Now, this area here seems way too dark, don't you think? Yeah, I think it does. How can I improve that? Set this to 30% opacity. I mean exposure. And let's gently apply some of this lightness to this line art. Let's do another pass. Okay, now that is not working anymore. Let's switch to airbrush. To number 10. No, number 10 is still too small. Let's do 15. Nah, let's leave it like this. The more I fix this, the worse it's gonna become. So better not touch it. Not like this, at least. Let's try adding a little bit more darkness underneath his bandana, because his bandana is, of course, casting shadow on him. Need a smaller brush, even smaller. I am not sure. What do you guys think? Does that look natural? I don't really think so. Let's try again with a larger brush. Oh, you know what? I should probably be using 50% exposure instead of 30%. But it's fine. Let's not add a shadow there. Not now, at least. Okay, I think that for this part of his body, this should be enough shading and lighting. Also, I think that when I did the shading on both of these characters on this picture here, I think I might have used a little bit of trickery. Let me confirm that. That picture is called Birthday Wishes, right? Let's see if I did do that or if I didn't. Because... well, if I did, I will find out. Let's see, extra shadow 30%. Oh yes, I did. Kinda. Yes, and this is exactly what I was thinking. So see this layer here, extra shadow 30%. This here, this thing here, covering his hooves down here. Like this, it makes it look like there is more shadow here, but that's just a black layer with 30% opacity. Let's copy this layer style and wait a second, close this. It is not time to do this thing that I'm gonna do now, but I want to experiment and see if this idea is actually going to work on silver or not. I mean on this picture or not. Give me color black, complete black. Sure, under soft brush. This. Paste the layer style. Let's use brush 200 with a razor. Now let's use a very large soft round brush with the eraser and raise some of this on the top. Yeah, I think this idea will work. It is not time to apply it yet, but it seems that it's going to work to enhance the shadows. Okay, what next? Body button. But this part of his body. Now this should be very simple. Now let's start with brush number 100. I might have used too much over here. Let's start over. Okay. Now the burn tool. And let's repeat everything that I did for the first layer. I'm still not happy that this line art ended up so dark like that. Now let's make his bottom a bit darker, because since this here is much closer to the ground, it should not be as lit. I have a feeling you should be using an airbrush. Let's go with number 65. Darkness just here now. No, I messed up. Use the exposure to 30%. Let's leave it like this. It's not the greatest, but it's good enough. I don't think I'm even gonna need to apply any extra lighting on his back here or at this part of his leg. It seems to be good enough as it is. Okay. Next, let's do his left side. Let's begin with his horn. Now the horn is probably going to be the easiest thing to shade. Do this leg now. Some lighting on the bottom over here. Oh, hold on. I should use selection areas. Or areas of selection, whatever. Yeah. Now here. Excuse me, Silver. It was exactly what I needed to put to place the brush. Should be enough. Now this leg. Go. And lastly, this piece of his bandana. For this one I can use a smaller brush and a bit more zoom. There. And this should be all left side. Yep, that is correct. There we go. Now let's zoom in on his horn. And this is going to be fun. I'm gonna need the burn tool. 50% exposure as before, but a very small, soft round brush. Actually, I'm gonna need a very soft, small round brush. Soft round brush, sorry. For the dodge tool as well. Because with number 5, because I have to shade. Should save. Because I have to shade the spirals on his horn. How do I do these though? Like here, there should be light, right? Should be some shading down here. You know, I don't think this is going to work for this horn. I mean, for this picture. Let's undo all of that. Problem is that I'm not sure how much I should undo. You know what? I did save before I did that, so let's close and open that file again. Let's see, a birdie told me. This should be alpha 1. Yep. Let's use number 65 on the air brush. There. Now some shading down here on this leg as well. That seems quite fine. A little bit on his neck bandana. Very little there. Almost unnoticeable. Also his horn. Apply a little bit the center. Maybe a larger brush. Let's go with number 20. 20 is too small. Let's go with 30. No, let's go with 35. Maybe 35 was too big? Alright, let's do 17. Or maybe let's not do anything with his horn. Let's leave it as it is. Because apparently adding extra shading there is just making things worse. So never mind. Wolf patch. What is this layer here? Where is it? Oh! Alright, it's that thing, the little fix that I did over here. Okay, let's not touch that for now then. If at all ever. Let's save and do the shading on his bandana. Bandana should be simple enough. Some lighting here. Top of it. Round. Little bit on the bottom there. Just a little bit back here as well. Just a little bit. I'm not sure if you can tell, but in comparison to Silver himself, applying the dodge and burn tools on the bandana does make the effect far more noticeable than on his fur coat. Now then, percent here. Let's use a smaller brush, much smaller. Maybe not that small. Now this bandana is not supposed to receive as much shading as the rest of Silver's body, but it does need some shading, more specifically in these cloth wrinkles. A gonna have to do a mix of shading and lighting if I want this to look natural. Like that there, shading. Now, am I using size number 5? Oh, I'm using number 9. Now, some lighting here. Good, right, Mike? Like that. Yes! Like that. See? See the difference? Do some of that over here. That's fine-ish. Perhaps a little bit of that here as well. Like that. Now for this one, I think I need shading over here. Stop there. Now lighting over here, quite a little bit, like so. Oh yes, that looks very nice. And what about this one here? Perhaps shading. Yeah, that seems to be alright. This one, however, maybe shading as well. The bottom, like so. This does not look the greatest, but it's not bad, I do dare say. How can I make it better though? should probably use some larger areas of lighting, like this, for example. But this should require the airbrush. Yeah, that's not bad. Not so bad. Here though. We use a smaller brush. Let's go with size 9. Now this is looking much better. Okay, what about this part over here? Let's go and pick brush number 13 for the dodge. And brush number 9 for the shading. Is dark. Brush number 13 for the soft brush. Actually, no, let's use the regular soft round brush. Yeah, I guess that seems to be... Oh, Is that right, though? Is it? Maybe not. I like the way that it curved, though. Yeah, this here looked better.
I'm feeling like a photograph life. It changes but it goes by fast and far too fast for me to catch. They tell me I'm too insecure, that I should believe in myself more. If only it was as easy as that. Sometimes I just feel like a stranger in my life. Sometimes I don't feel right at all. I may be lonely.
Sometimes it is very difficult to figure out where exactly the shadow should go and how it should be curved. Also, how much shadow should be applied to a given area and that sort of stuff. This doesn't look quite good. It's bugging me. with that. And this. Yeah, okay. Let's add a little bit of lighting up here. Not too much, but not too little. Bit down here.
Some say I'm unique and others strange. Some say I'm just living up to my name, but
How about a bit of lighting here as well? Oh, I like that. Okay, that is looking quite nice actually. Looking quite nice now. All of this, of course, does need some extra tweaks, but I'll do those later down the road. Let's save and shade his mane and tail and his goatee. Let's begin with his mane, and I will isolate it from his tail and his goatee. I am not doing this right. Another thing that causes me some difficulties with shading and lighting are not just light colors, but some very dark colors also cause the same difficulty. Just the case with the brown in Silver's mane. This shade of brown here is one that's fine. It's the darker brown that is the problem. Should be enough. And last but not least, his iconic goatee. Although I suppose if I am going to call something iconic on him, I should probably call the bandana that. Okay. Let's set this exposure back to 100%. Use brush number 300 and make everything dark. And all of this must be covered by this effect completely evenly. That should do it. Now same thing for the dodge tool at 50% exposure. Okay. Now let's use brush number 45, 65. And do a few extra lighting highlights on his mane.
far away from home. We lost our last vestige of hope, freezing and alone. A shadow came to us in our dreams with tales of better times. Royal princess of the night.
Just on a few areas. Specifically the ones where there should be more light on them. Yeah, that seems to be fine. Add a little bit of that on his goatee, and that's it. Let's use the airbrush number 65 and add just a little bit of shading on the base of his mane. There. Now some shading here in the middle of his tail. Actually, no. It's this part here. Because his tail is curved. So just here. Yeah, that's good. And his goatee should actually have some more shading down here, right under his chin, like that. Maybe some more lighting as well. Something a little bit more defined. Oh yeah. Definitely. Yeah? Question mark? Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Save. We do a little tweak right here. Oh, that's barely noticeable. Yeah, that is barely noticeable. I have to do this, but it is barely noticeable. I guess it does look okay. Let's do the same thing with this one here. Nice. Shall we save? Of course we shall. Okay. Now, I suppose I can say that Silvertrot is pretty much fully shaded already. He just requires a few tweaks. What can I do to tweak to improve the shading in general? I can't really think of something. Well, I'll figure it out later. I think that now the only thing left to shade is the cockatiel over here. It's a cute little bird. And the bird is a single layer. Awesome. In theory, it should be very easy and simple to... Oh, fudge. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. I broke everything. There we go, I fixed everything. In theory, it should be very easy and simple to shade. Let's use number 35. very gentle with how we apply this effect. Yeah. Okay. Of this effect. Have I ever imported the elements into this picture? You know, the little heart, the music notes. Not seeing those here in the layers. And then eye shine, body top, body bottom, and tail outside, cocktail, hoof patch. I didn't. The heck? Whatever. That is a very minimal thing. Let's do some highlights with lighting. Bird. More specifically on these parts that are supposed to be receiving the most amount of light. Some on the wing over here. Well. That. There as well. Now for the shading. Some shadow down here. That is way too dark. Let's use let's use a 30% exposure. And let's use an airbrush. Yes, that seems better. That is quite alright. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, this is fine. Let's save. Now what? Perhaps the next thing that I should do is to save this as a different file, so I can keep this stage of the progress as a backup. Because I believe the next things that I have to do here will cause more significant changes that if I mess something up, I'm not going to be able to undo should I need to. So let's work now with Alpha 2. And I think there was something I wanted to check on something somewhere, but I can't remember what it was. Okay. How can I make this look better? Let's use the leaf trick, which is to use this leaf brush with a 10% size, 10 pixel size, sorry, and 15% exposure on both the burn tool and the dodge tool. Let's use this brush to give the illusion that there is some texture to everything. Let's begin with the lighting. Let's begin with the cocktail, since I have that bird's layer selected. Let's say, wow, that version number 10 is too big for the bird. Okay, let's use number 5 then. Gotta be very gentle with how much of this I apply. And where I apply. Go. Now same thing with the burn tool. See how it kind of makes it look like this bird has feathers? It gives the idea of texture without actually applying any sort of texture. Set this back to 10, to 10. And also this one. Now let's do the same thing on Silvertrot himself. Let's begin with his head, as I always do. Some there, some here on his ear, a little bit here on the back of his neck. For him, I might actually have to use version number 15 on this one. Not sure. Some here on his hoof. And on the back of his leg. Or perhaps instead of brush number 15 for the brush, keep it at number 10, but use 10% exposure. Let's see. No, put a 15%. Some here on his neck. Now let's switch to the burn tool and do the same thing for the shade areas. Okay, now for this one I will have to drop the exposure. 10%. Go. Gotta be very gentle with how much of this I apply. Anything. Otherwise, it's not gonna look natural. And it must look natural. I might have exaggerated over here. Oh, okay, okay. I was gonna say okay and alright at the same time. Okay, alright. That seems to be good. Let's work on his ear. There. Look at how much difference that makes. How much good difference it makes, I should say. Yeah, that's good enough. I wonder if maybe I should add some of this. It's cheek as well. Right here. Did it apply it? It did, but it didn't appear much because I was using 10% exposure. Actually, nothing's happening. What? Oh wait, something is happening. I can see though. Oh, never mind then. It's not gonna make a difference. Let's do the bandana. But the bandana is something that will benefit a lot from this. Look at that. Oh, it makes such a good difference on the bandana. Wow. It's like night and day. Look at that. So much better. Very well, let's leave it as it is. Move on to the other layer, this layer here. Maybe I actually will want zoom. Let's add a little bit of this to this hoof. Nice. Now for the shading part. Am I gonna have to increase the exposure? 20%. Because I'm not seeing anything here. I mean, I know the effect is being applied, but it is too weak. Why is the range set to shadows? I never set this to anything else. It should be midtones. That's why it wasn't working on the on his cheek. This might be too much. Yeah, it is too much. Let's increase the size of the brush to 15. This does not look good. Let's use just a bit here, there, and on the very bottom. Like that. Now that looks better. Let's move on to his mane and tail. Set this back to 10 pixels and exposure back to 15%. Notice that I am applying the lighting only on the top side of the mane. A little bit on his goatee, and we're done. Now for the shading part of this effect. Let's add a lot of this here on the bottom. A little bit over here. That's it. Now for his left side. Let's add a tad his leg. Well, maybe not a tad. But quite a bunch. Let's drop the exposures to 10%. There's too much of it is being applied here. Maybe that's still too much. Let's drop the size to 5%. I mean 5 pixels. Let's try. Yeah, that actually works. Very well. Well, down here though, is it working? It is, but it is quite subtle. I'm going to isolate this leg and use a larger size on this brush. Let's go back to 10 pixels. Yeah, I guess that's good enough. Let's use the shading part of this effect. Exposure 5%. What? Oh, never mind. I thought that exposure at 5% was on the dodge tool. No, this is on the burn tool. Set that back to 15%. This set it to 10. Let's drop the size of this brush to 5. Yes. Look at that. We're making progress. Now I am going to apply some of this to this leg here as well. Yeah, almost. This can be better. Yeah, I guess that is better now. Gonna apply a little bit of both of these to here. That bandana. And last but not least, his horn. Very nice, and save. Are these all the layers? Yes, I think these are all the layers that I needed to apply these effects to. Okay. So now, the next thing that I'm going to do is, where is Silver Trot? Silver Trot here. Let's bring this into Photoshop. Select and copy everything. Wait. Not yet. Gotta add the guidelines. There, a little notch there, a little notch here. Now I can bring this and paste it over everything. There we go. Oh yeah, we can use this to see the difference between shaded and not shaded. Look at that. Nice. I like it. Okay, but that's not why I did this. I did this because I want to use this as a shadow enhancement. Let's apply this. Actually, let's not do that. Clear layer style. I forgot to do this. Now I can do that. Okay. Now with a brush and a soft round brush. Size 900. Let's drop it to 500. Size 500. I shall remove. Actually, 500 is still too big. Let's go with 300. Now I shall remove bunch of this. And leave most of it to the darker areas. Oops. That was too much. Move some over here. Oh. Now that's a bit of a problem. Let's do this. Maybe a smaller brush. Yeah, this will do. Let's call this layer extra shadow 30%, because that's the percentage of the opacity on this layer. Save. And what next? Right, the elements layer. Here we go, this one. Have I really never included this in the coloring layers? I mean the coloring files? Oh, I did. But it wasn't the bird. I even colored the thing. In that case, bring this into Photoshop instead. And select just those. And for this, I don't really need guidelines because I'm going to resize the whole thing after all. This. And let's call this layer elements. Now this here is not gonna need any sort of shading, but I might make it look better if I do some maybe bevel and emboss. Yeah, marginally. Let's make this look better. Let's change the angle to 90%. I mean 90 degrees. Yeah, let's go with 16 pixels on the soften. Did I add a stroke? Doesn't look bad. Doesn't look the greatest either. Let's apply that. What if I tilt just these over here and go like this? Not sure if this looks any better. Yeah, I'm going to keep it like this. That is fine. And let's save. Now the next thing I think I should do is use a leaf brush. I mean, not a leaf brush, a grass brush on the eraser. Excuse me, Silver. You are in the way. And erase some parts of Silver's bottom down here. So the bottom of his tail, the bottom of his hooves, his bottom. Just so it looks like he's actually sitting in the grass, on the grass. And the grass is around him, instead of him be just floating on top of the grass like this. Yeah. Also, gotta work on the shadow. Where's the shadow? Oh, I completely deleted the layer. Okay. But yeah, I gotta draw the shadow, his shadow being cast on the ground here. Gotta do that. The erasing part over here. And other than that, there are still more things that I gotta do here. I gotta do a little bit of glow around him to give the idea that there is light being reflected off of him. So, you know, like I did over here. See how he appears to be glowing a little bit? That's not because he actually is glowing. It's simply because the light of the sun is reflecting off of him. Because that's basically how light works. So I gotta do that. So that's the erasing here, the shadow. And I think that's gonna be everything for this picture. Oh, also. Oh, wait a second. This tree does not look like it actually is in here. I have to apply that effect with the eraser that I'm talking about, where I have to erase some parts of Silver's bottom down here to make it look like he's actually sitting in the grass and the grass around him. I have to do the same thing with this tree here. And my question is, can I? Well, it looks like I will be able to, because the tree layer seems to be. Yes, it is. Which one of these layers? There. Pretty close. This layer. Okay. Whew, for a moment I thought I was not going to be able to do this fix on this tree, but I will be. Okay, good. So I gotta do that for the tree as well. Originally, when I made this background, I didn't have to do that for this tree because this part of this tree is obscured by this building here. As you can see, this tree here is the same tree that is over there, and it is completely obscured. But I didn't need to do that. But for this picture here, I do. That's another thing that I'll have to be doing next time that I work with this picture. And I am saying these things now because the supermarket closes earlier on Sundays, and I still gotta catch it open. So I will have to end the stream right about now because I have to go there. Which means that it is time to save and tell you guys that I stream every Wednesday, Fridays, and Sundays. I play American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator only on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and I play a different game every week on Fridays and also at 7 p.m. Eastern Time as well. I do it live on Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, just like today. And I have a Discord server available now. It's called Dragon Realms. If you'd like to join, there's a link below the stream. Just click there and you should be able to join the server. However, only if you are either a member of the art group Dragon Realms on DeviantArt or a subscriber to my Twitch channel here on Twitch. So yeah, the server is currently limited to members of the group and subscribers, but I will be opening the server to the general public in the near future. But for now, only for those two groups. If you are one of those, if you are in one of those groups and you are having troubles with the link, if you want to join, you can message me on DeviantArt or on Twitter. My name on DeviantArt is up here, Mike-Dragon, and on Twitter it's @_MikeDragon, and I will send you a link directly. Other than that, I think that's going to be everything for today. So yeah, my friends, thank you all so much for joining the stream. I hope you enjoyed and had fun. I wish you all an amazing week. May this next week be a better one than the last one. And until we meet again in the next stream, God bless you all, stay safe and healthy, and have a great night. Sleep well and dream of dragons. Bye everyone, bye Reptane, see ya, bye bye. Okay.
times and we don't know what to do. You've come to find your feelings aren't exactly what you knew. The odds are stacked quite poorly if without a winning hand. But bear in mind your bearing's only worse if you don't turn up. Don't bet on taking trips because they'll turn your trips to trash. You've got to set your sights and hopes on setting not to crash. Citrus can seem quite big if you don't make your plans unfurl. But I will not let that my opinion of such enough. Don't bet on sinking ships because they'll turn your chips to trash. You've got to set your sights and hopes on setting not to crash. The truth can seem quite bleak if you don't make your plans unfurl. But I will not let that mark my opinion of the fact that if you could fix the failings of the current paradigm, we would have a hero who's both been elusive and on time. Just on time. And then we would all contrive new conflicts, you know. Don't bet on sinking ships because they'll turn your chips to trash. You've got to set your sights and hopes on setting not to crash. The truth can seem quite bleak if you don't make your plans unfurl. But I would not let that mark my opinion of the show. Don't bet on taking trips because they'll turn your chips to trash. You've got to set your sights and hopes on setting not to crash. The truth can seem quite bleak if you don't make your plans unfurl. But I would not let that mark my opinion. Stipulations placed before you to get all the things you really need. Mr. Big may make things hard, but you have got to plant your seeds. Go to war, fight more. Your dreams thrive by competition. You'll find no one famous ever got there just by flinching at their foes. Cling against the torment claw with all your might at what you know. Don't let go, just glow. Don't wait to play to indecision. Don't bet on taking trips because you've got to